This trick has been an industry secret up until now, and it's required tremendous technique, and it's available now in a plugin that'll do this for you in under 2 seconds. Using reverse reverb swells into samples, vocals, drums, synths, drops, whatever, is the absolute best way to foreshadow your sounds, add atmosphere, and make your track sound professional. Historically, we've had to find the right reverb, sidechain the reverb, resample the reverb, reverse it, and put it into the sample. And then we'd have to line it up perfectly so the reverb ends right when the sample starts and there's an even trade-off. Now we literally don't have to do any of that at all with this new plugin called Preverb. It's absolutely game-changing. It's one of a kind. There's no other plugin like it. It dropped literally today, and there's an introductory price for the first week. So let's listen to an example with and without Preverb.
1, 2, 3, rosa, tú sí sabes lo que es. 1, 2, 3, rosa, no la guardes pa' después. 1, 2, 3, rosa, tú sí sabes lo que es. 1, 2, 3, rosa, no la guardes pa' después.
So as you can see, absolutely a world of difference. This is the only plugin that emulates real-time reverse reverb into samples. And this is a big deal because this is a age-old industry trick, and historically it's been quite a bit of work to reverse reverb samples into your vocals. Now we have all that literally with the push of a button. Reverse reverb is not only for vocals, it's a very common trick as well with drums. So if we take a listen to this drum sample here with and without a reverb swell into the snare. Now with a snare with reverse reverb. So this is one of the most common tricks with reverb in modern production on a professional level. Now it's made accessible basically to everybody, and all these settings are so dialed in. The types of reverb, the presets, all the settings are made for reverse reverb, so they all sound pretty much perfect right out of the box. Based on what we're going for, we can cruise through here and find different presets. So we have like a bigger reverse slam, sugar tail. This is good for kind of risers. And we could easily lock them to increments of time based on the BPM of our project. So if we want something super long, like a 2-bar loop, this essentially just generated a riser for us that we can use for literally anything. So very, very powerful plugin. Let's walk through some of the features here and take a look at some of the capabilities and basically how to use it. So the first thing that's super important to note is that because we're introducing sound that is occurring before the sample is playing, a couple things absolutely have to happen here, and that's it's going to delay our playback. So if we come here and look at our sample, we'll notice that there's quite a bit of delay between when the sample starts and when we press play. And that's because by nature, the reverb needs to start playing beforehand.
Baby, you don't have to feel alone tonight. Blossom on my loving like a rose tonight.
So if we want to bypass this feature, all we have to do is click the live button up here.
Baby, you don't have to feel alone tonight. Blossom on my loving like a rose tonight.
So live is going to give us the preverb still with the sample. It's not going to give it to us before the sample. So you'll notice it's still playing over the sample. And if we want to bypass it altogether, we can just click the active button.
Baby, you don't have to feel alone tonight. Blossom on my loving like a rose tonight.
The way to combat having to have your playback delayed every single time is with the capture feature. So basically the way this works is this is going to resample our reverse reverb in real time, and then we have that baked into the audio so we no longer have to have our sample delayed.
Baby, you don't have to feel alone tonight. Blossom on my love.
So if we just want to utilize the preverb without the overlaying sample, we can just line the preverb up right here and it's ready to go.
Baby, you don't have to feel alone tonight. Blossom on my loving like a rose tonight.
So very easy and very intuitive to utilize this. We can drag the entire sample in and replace it. We can use only the reverb tail, or we can just leave the plugin on and utilize it that way. Looking at a couple different features we have within the plugin. First is we have this dynamic arc, which we can drag around to change the length and the intensity of the preverb.
Baby, you don't have to feel alone tonight. Baby, you don't have to feel. Baby, you don't have to feel.
We can also drag this up and down so we can create a more or less dramatic intro.
Baby, you don't have to feel alone tonight. Blossom on my love. Promise there's no hurt and there's no.
Then we have a couple settings down here for reverb characters. So we have a couple options that are pretty optimal for introducing reverse reverb. hall, room, plate, cathedral, ambience, and springs. So we have some convolution options here with cathedral, ambience, plate, and then we have just some all around common types like room reverb, which is good for like snares and short, snappy kind of samples. Springs a little bit more resonant.
Baby, you don't have to feel alone tonight.
So many options down there, kind of depending on the taste and the feel we're going for. Capture allows us to resample it in real time, and then we can just drag and drop this directly into our DAW. And then this control down here is really important, Preverb Only. So if we turn this off, what's going to happen is it's going to play reverse reverb throughout our entire sample. Whereas once it's checked on, it's only going to give us reverb swells into our transients.
Baby, you don't have to feel alone tonight. Blossom on my loving like a rose tonight. Promise there's no hurt.
So with Preverb off, it's great for creating ambience and creating atmospheres and especially in spots like breaks or bridges within your track. With Preverb on only, it's going to, again, reverse the reverb only into the primary transients. So the main parts where there's gaps between the vocal and when it's starting again.
Baby, you don't have to feel alone tonight. Blossom on my loving like a rose tonight. Promise.
Then if we want to test out a couple different options, we can A/B different settings. So let's say we have our vocal lift on A. Let's go over to B and maybe let's try reverse slam on our vocal.
Baby, you don't have to feel alone tonight. Baby, you don't have to feel alone.
So we can kind of test the waters with what preset we want to use. Down here, we're able to control our length, mix, shape, tone, and low cut. So we can decide how long we want it.
Baby, you don't have to feel alone tonight. Baby, you
How much of the mix we want, so we can make it 100% wet, or we can just use a little bit and kind of tuck this back a little bit.
Baby, you don't have to feel alone tonight. Blossom on my loving like a rose.
So shape is going to be how dramatic the arc is. So basically how intense the reverb is before the sample comes in. Tone, this is just an overall spectral tonal control. So we can change the tone a little bit.
Baby, you don't have to feel alone tonight. Blossom on my loving like a rose.
And this only applies to the reverb. It does not apply to the sample. Same thing with low cut. Say we want to remove some of the muddiness and the low frequencies of the preverb. We can turn this up and it's going to kind of leave us with the higher frequencies.
Baby, you don't have to. Baby, you don't have to.
Then this is a super powerful control, and that's gap, which is going to increase or decrease the amount of time between when the preverb stops playing and when the sample comes in. So sometimes if you want that little bit of delay, you want that little bit of hesitation, we can change that with gap right here. Then we have width. So again, width of the preverb, which if we want a big lush atmosphere, increasing the width can really kind of add that stereo image to our sample. Then we have duck. So what this is going to do is this is going to increase or decrease the amount of ducking for our actual sample that is taking place with the preverb. So if we want it kind of tucked back there and we want our vocal to shine, if we turn up duck,
Baby, you don't have to feel alone tonight. Blossom on my loving like a rose tonight.
you can hear the preverbs only really coming in between the samples. So it's doing a lot of ducking so our vocal or sample or whatever it is can really shine. Then this is kind of a secondary control over here, and this is going to be the pitch and the formant of the preverb. Sometimes if we want to get a little bit creative and add more of a creative feel and effect to our preverb, we can kind of do like the DJ octave down feel.
Baby, you don't have to feel alone tonight. Blossom on my love. Baby, you don't have to feel alone tonight. Blossom.
And we could lock the formant with the pitch, or we can use them both independently. If we don't want to mess with the formant at all, we can just pitch it up or down, keep it really simple.
Baby, you don't have to feel alone.
So very cool for creative effects where we're kind of doing like a little bit of a switch, like we're alluding to the sample, but it's sounding a little bit different. So pretty cool little feature. That's most of the features of Preverb. Very powerful plugin, absolutely one of a kind. The best possible settings for introductory reverb into your samples. Really can make or break the feel of your track if you have that foreshadowing into your samples. Industry secret tip. Definitely go buy this, especially while it's on sale for the introductory offer. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Definitely go grab it. It's absolutely game changing. It's a one of a kind plugin. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.
More.